Hey guys, Raisa here from the Nutrinut, and today let's talk about the food label. So you might have heard me say time after time that a healthy meal, a healthy way of eating is actually when you cook your meals from scratch because you have full control over what goes into that food and therefore what goes into your body, right? Well, I also know that realistically speaking, that is not always the most, let's say, not everyone has the time to do that every single time, right? So we are bound to buy something that comes in a package and eat out of packages, which is why for this video, I wanted to share with you my top things to look for when you are eating something that comes in a package. So starting with number one, the first thing that I want you guys to look at is definitely not the calories, if that's where you were thinking. The reason for that is because calories actually, they are made up of protein, carbohydrates, and fat, right? So 1 gram of carbs and protein each will give you 4 calories. 1 gram of fat will give you 9 calories. So let's see in an example here, if you compare an avocado with a lollipop. So the lollipop will have less calories, and if you're looking just at the calories, you might think that this is the better option. But we know better than that the avocado is the one that is the winner here when it comes to nutrition and nutrients that are good for your body. You definitely want to go with the avocado despite having a higher amount of calories. And why does it have more calories? Because it's rich in protein, it's rich in carbs, and it's rich in fats. But fats, the healthy kind that we want in our bodies, that help us with our hormone health, that helps us with our skin, hair, all the good stuff. You really want to be including those into your diet. So now that we know that we shouldn't only be focusing on calories, what should we be focusing then on? So the first thing to look at is the list of ingredients. Now this will tell you everything there is to know about that specific food item. So what you should be looking for, first of all, is the list very super duper duper long, or is it a short and sweet list? Do you know what those ingredients are when you're reading it? Does it sound like fresh and wholesome foods, or does it sound like a science experiment? So if it does sound like a science experiment, that's something that you might want to think twice about whether you want to put inside your body or not. A couple of other things to look out for are actually artificial or natural, to be honest, color and flavoring, and even when it comes to beauty, fragrance. Now these don't really mean that much, and it could be just about anything in there. So it could be chemicals, it could be ingredients that you don't necessarily want to be putting inside your body. Be mindful about those, okay? So again, number one, we're gonna be looking at the list of ingredients, and that's the first thing you're gonna focus on when you look at the back of a package. So number two, the next thing that I look at is actually the amount of sugar that a food has. Now, I am not only looking at this if it's a sweet kind of food, I'm also going to be looking at this even if it's something that's supposed to be savory, because a lot of the salty foods, they actually add sugar for flavoring purposes. A perfect example would be bread, it will be a tomato sauce for your pasta, all of that stuff. If you look at the back, you will see that most likely it does have sugar as one of its ingredients, and you will see also in the nutrition facts, the label, the actual chart, that there should be also, you will probably see an amount of sugar there. Now, a little fun fact here. You should be aiming to keep your sugar intake under 25 grams per day. The number might not seem that bad, and it seems a little bit doable, or I don't know if you find that scary or low, but when I first thought about it, I'm like, oh, that's piece of cake, you know, like piece of cake, get it? Well, I can definitely keep it on 25 and under, right? Well, wrong, because a lot of foods actually have pretty high amounts of it. If you look at snack bars, if you look at even orange juice, it's coming from the fruit, but it can reach about like 30 grams of sugar in just one serving. So if you have 1 cup of orange juice, you're basically already over what you should be going for. So that's what you should be really mindful about. If something that you are eating out of a package has 5 grams, 10 grams, 40 grams, like in the case of a soda, you want to be more mindful that you're already almost doubling your amount of sugar intake for that day. And last but not least, the third thing that I always try to be mindful about, not mindful of, this is actually a good thing that I try to see if it has a good amount or not, would be fiber. I actually look for foods that have higher amounts of fiber for two reasons. One of them, usually it will be products that are more wholesome, so things that have whole grains, that have nuts, seeds. Usually these will have a good amount of fiber. And the other thing is, we are actually under consuming fiber. We should be going for about 25 to 30 grams per day. And most of us are going like about halfway to what we need to be going. So you want to make sure you increase your fiber intake. And of course, the best way to do this is through natural foods, when your vegetables, your fruits. But it also, a lot of times we're not able to get to where we want to be. So when you see something in a label, check out the fiber amount if it has a good amount. Now, fiber is not only important for heart health and to keep you regular, but it's also really important because it keeps your gut flora happy and healthy. And we know how important that is nowadays. And it's not only for digestion purposes, but there's actually a connection between your gut, your brain health, your mood, and even weight gain or weight loss. They have done tons of research that some people that struggle with losing weight tend to have that unbalanced flora. So you want to make sure that you're really taking care of your gut and you're keeping it a healthy one. So those are my main tips, and I will see you on the next video.